Hi guys. So today it's Louise and Joe.
All right,
Hi Joe, you okay?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. So today we've got a unique topic to discuss, um, and it's not aimed at personally at anybody or anything, but there's a reason behind this conversation that we thought had to be brought to the forefront of discussion because it is one of the main theories regarding what happened to David Kamal and Rani, which is that they were taken out, assassinated, murdered, whatever you want to call it, by the government or the deep state or black ops. I don't know who people think did it because we believe obviously that David did it, but for the sake of argument, we're going to discuss this theory of why is it that David was taken out by some government agency because of the grey state, but yet Dan, Greg, Catherine, Sophia, and everybody who has discussed this case, drawn attention to this case, got documents and screenplays pertaining to the grey state. Why are they not dead? Over to you, Joe.
That's exactly right. Why do they get a pass? If some government entity come in, took out and annihilated the whole family, including a 5-year-old child, well, these people have been the biggest mouthpieces for 7 years, exposing what the government tried to cover up. They came in and staged all this, according to them, and now they're exposing all of it. Why would they not just shut them up? It would be that easy
Well,
if it
yeah,
were true.
yeah. I mean, and you have to also question. Um, I mean, we know for a fact, we know that Greg knows and Sophia knows. They all know that David did this. They all know there is absolutely no threat whatsoever towards them, and that's why they run freely with all of the garbage because they know that there is absolutely no chance that anyone is ever going to put them in the firing line and take them out because they're too cowardly. There is no way, I'd like to think that Greg does really love his wife. There's no way that Greg would put his wife, his extended family at risk of being murdered for the sake of covering
Exactly.
David Crowley. He just wouldn't do it. Well, he wouldn't if he got any common sense, if he genuinely thought that there was some government agency that had taken David out. If they can kill a 5-year-old child, then they sure as shit can kill Greg, his wife, Greg's mother-in-law, his mum, his dad, his brothers and sisters, his nieces and nephews, and anybody who would be, in essence, up for inheriting anything that belongs to Greg, like his computers and his shitty books and all the rest of it, and his documents, and everything that he has stolen from the Grey State.
Yeah, it is.
They'd all be at risk. And I don't think that Greg's got
Yeah,
that much of a backbone to really put David
no, I
Crowley
don't
and
either.
truth before the safety of his own family.
Right. He would put all of them in danger. And, they have so many different irons in the fire. They talk about the 9/11, incident. They talk about all these other cases that are conspiracies. They have more than one reason than just the Crowley case to take them out and shut them up. They're exposing all these things,
Well, they
and
believe they are.
that's Well, they're yeah. I mean, but it's just to gain monetarily. Is what it is.
And I don't think that Sophia would put her grandkids and her family in danger if she really loved them and cared about them. If she felt threatened for one instant, she wouldn't do anything. She wouldn't put them all at risk of being taken out by the
Well, no
government.
one in their right mind would.
Well, no. Unless you've got a lot of money in a secret bunker with Fort Knox security.
Right?
You're just not going to
It's
put
ridiculous
yourself
though.
at risk.
All these conspiracy claims. I mean, it's just a bunch of nutters, chattering pretty much,
Yeah,
trying to find something in nothing, and they all join together.
I agree. But there's just no way on earth that they would take that chance. I mean, they go around saying that there's killers out there on the loose. And if they were all for shutting down anything related to grey state, you've then, and that's why they murdered David, they are then going to come after every single person that is drawing attention to the theory that David didn't do it and say that there's people out there who
Right.
did do it. They're going to be coming after you and they're going to silence you. So why is it that none of them have just had mysterious car accidents with, failed brakes and shit like that?
Yeah, and if that's what I was saying. If they, do believe there's a killer out on the streets still that murdered this family, why don't they provide some sort of fact, something that isn't fabricated to back up what they said? They've had 7 years now.
Yeah.
And they've done nothing but come up with MBFT, which was made up, and all these other little things that they made up. They have nothing factual to point to a killer at all.
Exactly. And even when you've got the medical examiner coming out saying, that's not what I said, you're twisting my words, I never said that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got black and white evidence, and they've got hearsay and speculation and basic gossip and opinion, but we've got the facts. But they don't want to look at the facts. They just want to keep on going over.
Yeah, you can spin it all day long.
Yeah.
You can spin it and say it however you want, but at the end of the day, if you don't have any facts to back up what you're saying, it goes nowhere. You have nothing.
And not one of them has been threatened by some man in black, some mysterious stranger coming and telling them to shut up and not mention the Crowleys if they know what's good for them or anything like that. So, but yeah, there's no way that they would be brave enough to put themselves out there at risk if they thought for one moment there was going to be repercussions for them or their family. And that's why they don't worry about it. And they just come out with all this stuff and telling all these stories. Because if push comes to shove, they'd be running for the blooming hills.
Yeah. And now that we've said that, when they hear this, they're going to mysteriously start getting car problems. And things are going to start happening.
Yeah, mysterious phone calls from numbers that they don't recognize and all this kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Of course, there'll be no evidence of it.
I just want to say I don't have the time to mess with people like that because it's ridiculous. So it's not me if it happens.
Exactly. There's more important things to do, and besides which, we're not the killers, so we wouldn't be the ones that would be after them. But the killers, if they are, if there were these killers out there, they're the ones who you would all have to be watching out for.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, well, I'll save another bit for when we're off the recording, but I just had another strange thought about that. But yeah, so we just think it's worth reminding people stop and think. Do you really, really think that they would be all brazen and out there saying that the kind of crap that they're saying if they thought for 1 minute someone could just turn up at their door and blow all their brains out and make it look like them, make it look like they'd killed their family?
Yeah,
You know, go ahead.
well, if you think about it, these killers, according to justice, came in with kindergarten art projects, liquid nitrogen. They tortured the family, froze his hand, did all this stuff, staged the scene, and they went through this whole elaborate thing that would have took like 2 days to complete. But now they're just going to let it go when these people are trying to expose them. It makes zero sense.
None whatsoever.
It just,
And you know, nobody else connected to like David has been bumped off. Now David's dad has got the right to everything, but nothing's happened to him.
and won't.
No, no. The only thing that's happening to him is there's a bunch of loons who have got big mouths and no facts, spreading rumours about him and his family, and causing problems for him and damaging his reputation and impacting on his life in a negative way, as though his life hasn't had enough negative, traumatic, impacting damage done to it already. They just like to sit there and poke it with a stick. But they wouldn't be seen for miles around if they genuinely thought for one split second that there was a chance that it was going to come back on them.
None of these are real people to them. They just use them as their pawn in their little thing, and you know, they accuse everybody of murder.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not narrowing down their suspect list. They're gaining and adding ones every week.
Yeah.
Somebody else could have done it.
Thinking that they're the be-all experts, and none of them have got any experience that's worth crediting to any kind of forensic experts of any kind of degree, yet they think that they are the experts on every single post-mortem topic that there is. And then they have the audacity to say that they've been doing research, yet they never show it. All they show is the police documents and them talking about their opinion and laughing and joking at the families and the friends' expense.
Yeah. And it seems like they would learn by now. If they say something, we are going to research it. If it's not true, we're going to put out the truth side of it. I mean, because that's only fair. I mean, you got to be objective in any case.
Well, think about it. Before, I know that they've said things before when we've covered topics, and then they try and counter it, and then start complaining because it means that they've got to look at these things, and they would have. It's only because we've drawn attention to it that they're now looking at it. But if you're genuinely researching a case, you should be looking at everything. So that just goes to show that they only pick and choose what they look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
point in case, Greg just stated that the CME doesn't look at any evidence. He just comes in and checks out the body and leaves. Well, that's not true. They collect evidence. They look for signs of what happened, you know, what the weapon was. They help identify the things in the scene as well.
Yeah,
so,
they speak to family members and they build up a history of that person.
Yeah.
And use all kinds of things to aid their own investigation. But if you do research, you know these things. And if you don't do research and you wing it, then you look a fool.
But the thing is, in order to make their fantasy work, though, they need this medical examiner to be a bumbling idiot, you know, or the fantasy falls apart.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. They're ruining people's careers. I mean, putting black marks on them.
I know.
It's
Remind me later. I
insane.
saw an absolute cracking post by Dr. Kelly. It was brilliant. I'll have to send it you in a bit.
Okay.
It was absolutely phenomenal. It was
Cool.
brilliant. But yeah, they've tried to sort of dismiss his expertise, that they try and dismiss the actual medical examiner who worked on the case. She doesn't know shit, she's young and all this bullshit. She's young and she doesn't know her job, but David and Camilla are young and they're experts in their field.
Well, Dr. Kelly, they sought him out
to
talk to him. And Ken May, they sought him out. But then when they don't agree, they're all part of the conspiracy.
Yeah, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't have experience.
It just makes no logical sense. Not everybody in the world's an idiot. They don't agree with you.
Exactly. Well, I think we've covered it all for now, but we're quite happy to have further discussions with anyone who has got another side to throw into the conversation. We're always willing to listen and have a decent conversation. So this is what we think. So what do you guys think? We will be back soon. So Thanks for listening. Take care. And don't forget to follow the Crowley Case Facts versus Fiction, Deep State Granny, and the Grey State The Truth. See you all soon.